The stars were silent that night, but the air around the human ship was filled with tension. As Commander Rylan and his small team approached the alien planet, they could not see the danger waiting for them. Their mission seemed simple: explore, gather information, and leave. But the universe had other plans. The moment their ship entered the planet's atmosphere, alarms blared, and strange red lights flashed across the control panels. Something was very wrong, far worse than they could imagine. Rylan glanced at his crew, his eyes serious. "Stay alert. We do not know what awaits us," he said, his voice steady but tense. The ship landed on the rocky surface, shaking violently. Dust and sparks flew everywhere as the aliens' monitoring system detected their presence. They had broken the only rule, the law of the stars, without even knowing it. The aliens did not communicate like humans, but their warning was clear. An enormous holographic projection appeared in front of the humans, glowing with a strange light. The alien council was huge and terrifying, with many arms, eyes that seemed to see through every thought, and voices that echoed inside Rylan's mind. "You have trespassed. You have broken the only law of the stars," the council said, and a chill ran through the human team. No one moved. Fear and shock froze them in place. They had heard stories about the law, but they never thought it applied to them. Humans were always curious, always exploring. But this time their curiosity had led to danger far beyond their understanding. The council's words were heavy. "For this crime, you will pay with blood." Every word seemed to vibrate through the air, making the ground tremble slightly. The humans tried to explain, but the council did not listen. It was as if their presence itself was a crime. The atmosphere changed instantly. The sky darkened, and strange energy fields surrounded the humans. They realized that escaping would not be simple. The planet itself seemed alive, watching, waiting for them to make a mistake. Rylan's heart pounded. He knew that panic could kill them. "We must stay calm, find a way to survive," he whispered to his team. But the humans were not the only ones watching. Alien soldiers appeared suddenly. Moving with unnatural speed, they surrounded the humans, creating a ring of light and shadow. "You cannot leave, not until the council decides your fate," one soldier said, although the voice was mechanical. It carried power and fear. One of the younger crew members, Lyra, trembled. "Commander, what do we do? They will kill us." Her voice cracked, her hands shaking as she gripped the railing. Rylan looked at her and then at the glowing council. "We survive," he said firmly. "No matter what happens, we survive." The words sounded small against the vast power of the aliens, but it gave the team a spark of hope. The council's projection shifted, showing images of humans and aliens from centuries ago, wars, alliances, betrayals. It was clear that this law had been broken before, and the punishment had always been deadly. Rylan's mind raced. "We cannot fight them head on. We have to think smart. Find a weakness," he thought. Every second counted. Every wrong move could mean death suddenly. The ground beneath them shook violently, cracks forming as energy pulses spread outward. The humans stumbled, but Rylan caught Lyra, holding her steady. "Watch carefully, everything here is a trap," he warned. The sky was alive now with alien lights, glowing symbols, and floating structures that seemed to shift and change shape. It was beautiful but terrifying, like the world itself was punishing them for their mistake. Minutes felt like hours, but in reality it had only been a few. The council continued to watch, silent yet deadly, their eyes following every small movement of the humans. Rylan knew that their fate depended on understanding the rules, but the rules were hidden, ancient and merciless. "We have to find a way before it's too late," he muttered, his voice almost lost in the hum of alien energy. As night fell on the planet, the humans realized they were trapped, and the first lesson was clear. Breaking the only law of the stars had consequences far beyond their imagination. The forbidden crime had been committed, and now every heartbeat, every breath, carried the weight of inevitable danger. The humans had entered a world where curiosity could cost them everything, and survival was no longer guaranteed. The humans had thought the landing was the hardest part, but the planet itself now seemed alive with danger. As soon as the energy field trapped them, the ground under their feet shifted and trembled. Strange sounds echoed from deep cracks, and shadows moved in impossible directions. Lyra clutched Rylan's arm, her eyes wide with fear. "Commander, what are these creatures?" "I can't see them clearly," she whispered, but the shadows were only the beginning. Suddenly, from the cracks in the ground, alien hunters emerged, tall and thin, with limbs that bent in ways that seemed unnatural. Their skin shimmered like liquid metal. Their eyes glowing in cold red, the hunters did not speak. But the humans could feel their presence, a silent warning that any mistake would be fatal. Rylan quickly signaled his team to stay close. "Do not run, do not panic, move slowly and carefully," he commanded. His voice calm but firm. The hunters circled them, cutting off every possible escape route. Each step of the humans triggered small traps in the ground. Spikes shooting up, energy barriers appearing, and strange pulses that made their heads spin. It was as if the planet itself was punishing them for breaking the law. This is no ordinary planet, Rylan thought. It is alive, and it hunts us. Lyra tried to step forward but stumbled as the ground tilted under her feet. Suddenly a low hum filled the air, coming from the sky itself. Rylan looked up and saw floating orbs, each glowing with strange symbols. Moving slowly but deliberately, they pulsed with energy, and the hunters seemed to draw strength from them. The humans realized that these orbs were controlling the hunters, or maybe even controlling the planet itself. "We need to disable them somehow," Rylan said, scanning the area for anything useful. As they moved cautiously, the team noticed one of the alien hunters hesitating. Its movements slightly different. Rylan's mind raced. Could this be a weakness? But before he could react, a sudden burst of energy from the orb knocked him to the ground. Lyra screamed as another hunter lunged, but Rylan pushed her out of the way just in time. The energy pulse left scorch marks on the rocky surface, and the humans knew that one more hit like that could kill them. The team huddled behind a large rock formation, trying to catch their breath. "We can't fight them directly. They are too strong," Rylan said, wiping blood from a cut on his arm. "We need strategy, cleverness, and speed." He noticed the hunters communicating through lights in their bodies, a silent code he barely understood. If they could mimic it, maybe they could confuse them. Lyra pointed to a narrow crevice in the rocks. "Maybe we can hide there, they might not reach us," she suggested, her voice trembling but determined. Rylan nodded and the team moved carefully, using shadows to cover their steps. Each movement had to be precise. One wrong step, and they would be trapped forever. The hunters prowled near the crevice, their glowing eyes scanning, but the humans held their position, waiting for the right moment. Suddenly, a loud crack echoed, and one of the hunters turned sharply toward the humans. Its body twisting like liquid metal, Rylan realized that hiding alone would not work. "We have to create a diversion," he whispered. Grabbing a small energy grenade from his pack, he threw it toward a cluster of rocks, and the explosion sent a shockwave across the terrain. The hunters turned instantly, giving the humans a small chance to escape. The humans ran as fast as they could, dodging energy spikes and floating debris. The planet seemed to fight them at every turn, but Rylan's quick thinking helped them avoid several deadly traps. Lyra fell behind briefly, struggling to climb over a jagged rock. Rylan stopped and extended his hand, pulling her up just as another hunter appeared. Their breaths came in heavy gasps, but the humans were still alive as they ran. The team noticed strange markings on the rocks, glowing symbols that seemed to tell a story. Rylan studied them quickly. "These are warnings, or maybe instructions," he said, pointing to the patterns. "If we follow them, we might find a path out." The humans followed cautiously, stepping only where the symbols indicated. It was slow, exhausting, but the hunters seemed confused by their movement. Hours felt like minutes, and the humans finally reached a plateau, a temporary safe zone surrounded by alien energy barriers. They collapsed, exhausted, bruised, and scared but alive. Lyra looked around. "Do you think they will stop hunting us?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Rylan shook his head. "No, this planet is alive. It will never stop. But we survived this part, and that gives us a chance." Suddenly, a soft glow appeared ahead, different from the energy orbs, warmer, inviting. The humans hesitated, unsure if it was a trap. Rylan stepped forward cautiously. "We need to investigate. Maybe it's a way to communicate." "Or a way to escape," he said, signaling the team to follow. The plateau was quiet now, but the sense of danger lingered, every shadow and sound keeping them alert. They had escaped the hunters for now, but the planet itself had shown them its power. The forbidden crime they committed was far more dangerous than they imagined, and the only way to survive was to think, act, and trust each other. Every step forward was a step into the unknown, and the humans knew that the real trial had only just begun. The humans had thought surviving the hunters was their hardest challenge, but the alien council had other plans. As they followed the soft glowing light across the plateau, it led them to a massive structure, a building that floated above the ground, made of shimmering crystal and energy. Its surface shifted like liquid, reflecting stars that did not exist in human skies. Rylan stepped closer, feeling a strange vibration through his boots. "This must be where the council meets," he whispered. "We need answers, but we also need a plan." Inside, the building was silent, except for a low hum that filled the air. The humans moved cautiously, the floor beneath them glowing with symbols that pulsed with every heartbeat. Lyra glanced around. "It feels alive. Like it's watching us," she said. Her voice trembling, Rylan nodded, realizing she was right. Even the walls seemed aware of their presence, their movements subtle, almost breathing. Suddenly, a door of pure light opened before them, revealing the council chamber. It was enormous, with alien judges floating in midair, their many eyes staring into the humans' minds. Rylan could feel their thoughts, probing, searching. Judging, he swallowed hard. "We cannot lie, but we cannot show fear either," he reminded his team. Trying to steady himself, the council spoke together, their voices blending into one, echoing in the humans' minds. "You have broken the only law of the stars," they said. "Your punishment is to be decided." Rylan stepped forward, trying to explain. "We did not understand the law. We only came to explore, to learn." The council interrupted, a wave of energy washing over the humans, making their knees buckle. Images flashed around them, showing past humans who had broken the law, entire civilizations destroyed, blood flowing, planets burned. The humans realized the stakes. They were not just being judged. They were being compared to the worst of human history. Lyra gasped. We could die here." Rylan gripped her shoulder. "Stay focused. Fear will kill us faster than them," he said. The council shifted, floating closer, and the air grew thick. Rylan noticed a pattern in their movement, a rhythm to the way they judged. "Maybe a hint," he whispered to his team. "Watch them carefully. There might be a way to influence their decision." The humans focused, trying to read the alien logic, hoping to find mercy or a loophole. Suddenly a loud alarm sounded, and the chamber shook violently. The humans stumbled, and the council seemed disturbed. Rylan realized something. This building, like the planet, was alive, and it did not approve of disorder. He took a deep breath. "This is our chance," he said. "We need to act quickly before they regain control." One of the humans, Jaren, noticed a glowing panel behind the council, symbols that looked like they could disrupt the energy around the humans. "Maybe we can use that," he whispered. Rylan nodded. "Yes, we need to move carefully. But we cannot wait." The team split, moving in precise steps, each one filled with tension, each second a risk. As Jaren reached the panel, a council member turned sharply, its eyes glowing brighter than before. The air became heavier, and the humans felt an intense pressure on their minds. Lyra stumbled, nearly collapsing. Rylan caught her just in time. "Focus, just focus," he said, trying to calm his own racing heart. The council spoke, their voices like a storm. "You are not worthy, you cannot survive." Jaren pressed the panel, and suddenly a pulse of energy shot across the chamber, pushing the council backward. The humans felt the pressure ease slightly, and the building itself seemed to tremble. As if helping them, Rylan whispered, "It's working. Keep moving." The team carefully approached the center of the chamber. Using the disruption to shield themselves, the council tried to recover, sending waves of energy to punish the humans, but each pulse was weaker than before. The humans realized they had found a small advantage, but it was temporary. "We need to decide quickly," Rylan said. "Do we fight, or do we try to escape while they are distracted?" Lyra nodded. "Escape, we live another day. Then we plan our real attack." They moved toward the exit, but one of the judges sensed their plan, sending a blinding light that nearly froze them in place. Rylan shielded his eyes, but the force threw him backward. Lyra fell beside him, gasping. Jaren reached out and grabbed her. Pulling her to safety, the humans struggled, but they refused to give up. Every step forward was a victory, finally. They reached the outer edge of the chamber, a platform suspended over a glowing abyss. The council hovered above, furious, their voices like thunder. "You cannot leave. The law must be upheld," but the humans jumped into the air, using a combination of agility and quick thinking to avoid the energy barriers. The fall was terrifying, but they landed safely on a lower ledge. As they caught their breath looking back at the chamber, they realized something. The council had underestimated them. Humanity's persistence and cleverness had given them a chance. But they also knew the Council would not forgive easily. The trial was not over. The real danger was still ahead, and every mistake from now on could cost their lives. Rylan looked at his team, bruised but alive. "We survived the Council's first test, but we cannot relax," he said. "The forbidden crime has consequences, and the universe is watching." Lyra nodded. "Determination replacing fear. Then we fight and we survive. No matter what." The humans disappeared into the shadows, ready to face the next challenge, knowing that their courage, cunning, and teamwork were the only weapons they had against the fury of the stars. The humans had escaped the Council chamber, but the air outside was tense, heavy with danger. The planet itself seemed to breathe around them, glowing energy flowing through cracks in the rocks. The team moved cautiously, knowing that any noise or wrong step could alert alien patrols. Lyra led the way, her eyes scanning the shadows for movement. "We need to find shelter, somewhere safe to plan our next move," she whispered, her voice barely audible over the hum of the alien energy. Rylan nodded, keeping his weapon ready, but he realized weapons might not be enough. The Hunters and the Council had powers beyond anything humans had seen. Brute force alone would not save them. "We need a plan that uses the planet against itself," he thought. His mind racing, he noticed strange fissures in the ground, glowing lines that seemed to form a map, pointing toward an unknown destination. "Maybe those lines can guide us," he said, pointing to the glowing paths. The humans followed the glowing lines carefully. Moving in silence, their hearts raced with every step. As shadows shifted and energy pulses throbbed under their feet, suddenly a loud crack echoed behind them, and a group of alien hunters appeared, faster and deadlier than before. They moved in perfect coordination, cutting off escape routes and pushing the humans into a narrow canyon. Lyra stumbled as a spike of energy shot up from the ground, and Rylan grabbed her just in time. The canyon walls seemed to close in around them, and the humans realized they were being funneled into a trap. "We need to split up," Rylan whispered. "It's our only chance," Lyra hesitated, fear written on her face. "Split up? That could get us killed." Rylan nodded. "Yes, but staying together will definitely get us killed." They moved quickly, the narrow walls forcing them to hug the edges, dodging spikes, lasers, and floating energy orbs that patrolled the area. Jaren led one path while Rylan and Lyra took another. Every step was precise, calculated as the hunters closed in. The humans' hearts pounded in unison with the pulses of alien energy around them. Suddenly the ground beneath Jaren cracked, and he fell into a hidden pit. But he landed on a soft, glowing surface, a natural energy cushion that saved him from injury. He looked up, seeing the hunters searching above, unaware of his escape. Meanwhile, Rylan and Lyra continued down their path, the walls around them glowing with strange alien symbols. "These symbols, they're like warnings or instructions," Lyra said. Studying them, Rylan nodded. "If we understand them, maybe we can avoid traps and reach a safe zone." They followed the symbols carefully, each one guiding them past deadly spikes, shifting floors, and energy pulses. It felt like the planet itself was testing them, measuring their intelligence and courage. Suddenly, a bridge of light appeared over a deep chasm, leading to a plateau covered in glowing alien flora. The humans crossed carefully, each step triggering small energy reactions. The plant seemed alive, moving gently as if watching. Rylan noticed the soft hum of energy coming from the plateau, and realized it could be used to hide from the hunters. "We can rest here, but only briefly," he said, scanning the area. "The hunters will find us soon if we linger." As they crouched behind a cluster of glowing vines, they heard footsteps, soft but deliberate, coming closer. Lyra held her breath, and Rylan's hand tightened on his weapon. But it was not a hunter. An alien appeared, small and frail compared to the others. Its eyes wide with curiosity rather than aggression. It raised a hand, a silent gesture of peace. The humans hesitated, unsure if this was a trap, but the alien's body language seemed genuine. Rylan stepped forward slowly. "Who are you?" "Are you helping or hunting us?" he asked, his voice cautious. The alien tilted its head and a soft voice echoed in their minds. "I am Lyra. I watch. I see the Council cannot know of me." The humans exchanged glances, realizing this could be their first ally, someone who might help them survive. "We need help," Rylan said. "We want to live, and we want to understand your law." Lyra nodded, motioning for them to follow, leading them through hidden tunnels beneath the plateau. The council punishes quickly, she said, but clever ones can find paths of survival. The humans moved silently, trusting this strange guide, each step revealing new traps and obstacles. But Lyra seemed to know every danger, every hidden energy pulse. Hours passed as they navigated the underground paths, the humans exhausted but alive. Rylan realized that survival was not just about strength, it was about intelligence, teamwork, and courage. We are learning, adapting, he thought, and that may be the only way to beat them. The forbidden crime they had committed loomed over them, but hope flickered, small and fragile. Finally, they reached a large underground cavern, safe for the moment, glowing softly with alien light. Lyra spoke. Rest here, but remember, the council watches everything. The humans sank to the ground, bruised, hungry, and tired, but alive. Rylan looked at his team, determination burning in his eyes. This is not over. The escape was only the beginning. We fight smart, we fight together. And we survive no matter the cost, Lyra nodded, her fear replaced by resolve. Then we survive, and we make them pay for underestimating humanity. The humans had survived the deadly hunters and escaped the council's chamber. But safety was temporary. The underground cavern glowed with soft alien light, yet shadows lingered in every corner, whispering warnings. Rylan knew they could not rest too long. We've bought time, not freedom, he said, his voice steady. Every second we waste, the council comes closer. Lyra shivered but nodded, understanding the weight of their situation. Jaren inspected the cavern, running his fingers along the glowing walls. These symbols, they are messages, he said. Warnings, instructions, maybe even traps. Rylan studied them carefully, realizing the planet itself was alive, guiding them but also testing them. We must be careful, he said. One wrong move, and everything we've survived could end in an instant. As they prepared to move, a sudden sound echoed through the cavern. Soft footsteps that did not belong to the hunters. The humans froze, weapons ready, but their hearts skipped a beat when a familiar face emerged from the shadows. It was one of their own, Daxon, who had stayed behind during the escape. His expression was strange, hesitant, and there was a coldness in his eyes. Lyra whispered, "Commander." "Is that him?" Rylan's eyes narrowed. "Something is wrong," he said, instinctively tightening his grip on his weapon. Daxon stepped closer, raising his hands in mock surrender. I've been helping the council," he admitted quietly. "I never wanted to, but they promised power, safety. I had no choice." The humans were stunned, betrayal slicing through them like a knife. Jaren clenched his fists. "You've endangered all of us," he shouted, rage and disbelief mixing in his voice. Rylan took a deep breath, forcing calm. "Daxon, tell us everything now," he demanded. "Every secret, every path you shared." "Or this ends badly." Daxon hesitated, then nodded, trembling. "They know our weaknesses, they know our fear, they are preparing. Traps everywhere," he whispered. "But I can show you a way to fight back, if you trust me." Lyra looked at Rylan, fear and anger battling in her eyes. "Can we trust him?" she asked, her voice shaking. Rylan considered for a moment, then nodded. "We have no choice. If he lies, we'll know soon enough, but we need every advantage we can get." They followed Daxon deeper into the cavern, the walls now glowing brighter as if reacting to their presence. "The council is preparing a trial," Daxon said. "But it's not just judgment. They want to break you, to make you betray one another." Lyra shivered at the thought, realizing the council's cruelty went far beyond punishment. As they walked, Daxon revealed hidden passages, tunnels filled with strange energy that could shield them temporarily from the council's spies. The humans marveled at the clever design, but they also understood the danger. They were walking a razor's edge. Every wrong step could expose them. Jaren muttered, "We're being tested again and again, but maybe that's the only way to survive." Rylan nodded silently, focusing on the path ahead. Hours passed as they navigated the labyrinth of tunnels, when suddenly alarm sounded in the distance. The council had discovered movement, and their agents were closing in. "We've been discovered," Rylan said calmly, but his mind raced. "We must act now, before they trap us completely." The humans split into smaller groups, following different paths, using the knowledge Daxon shared to confuse the hunters and scouts. But the betrayal cut deeper than expected, as the humans realized some traps were set deliberately for them. Daxon's past actions had almost doomed them. Lyra glared at him. "Do you understand what you've done?" We could be dead right now because of you. Daxon hung his head. I know, and I'm sorry. I'll fix it. Trust me, this is the only chance we have. His sincerity seemed real, but trust was fragile, and the humans moved with caution, never letting their guard down. The tunnels led them to a massive underground chamber. Glowing with alien energy, this place seemed ancient, older than the planet itself, and it pulsed with power. Rylan realized it could be a weapon, or a shield if used correctly. We can use this against the Council, he whispered. We can turn their own planet into a trap for them. Lyra's eyes widened. But it's risky. One mistake and it could kill us all. As they prepared, the Council's hunters began to converge, energy crackling in the air. The humans readied themselves. Every sense alert, Rylan glanced at Daxon. No more mistakes, he said. This is your chance to redeem yourself. Daxon nodded solemnly, and for the first time, the humans felt a fragile sense of unity despite the betrayal. Suddenly the ground trembled, a deep rumble echoing through the cavern. Energy from the ancient chamber surged, responding to the humans' presence. It was as if the planet itself was choosing sides. The hunters paused, confused by the strange energy, giving the humans a small but critical advantage. Now, Rylan shouted, and the humans moved with precision, striking carefully, using traps and energy pulses to push the hunters back. The chamber became a battlefield, light and shadow colliding, humans and hunters dancing between life and death. Daxon proved himself, guiding attacks, saving lives, and slowly regaining the trust of the team. Lyra realized that sometimes redemption came from action. Not words, every move mattered, every second counted. As the humans fought for survival, and for a chance to confront the Council itself. When the battle finally ended, the humans were bruised, exhausted, but alive. The betrayal had tested them, but it had also made them stronger. Rylan looked at his team, determination burning in his eyes. We survived the Council's hunt, the betrayal and the traps, he said, but this is only the beginning. Humanity has a fight ahead and we will win. No matter the cost, Lyra nodded, a fire in her heart. Then we fight, and we survive, together. The humans had survived the betrayal and the traps, but now the real fight was coming. The Council had grown angry, their power more visible than ever. Energy crackled across the sky, and the planet itself seemed to pulse with anticipation. Rylan looked at his team, bruised and tired. This is it. We strike now or we lose everything, he said, his voice steady despite the fear in his heart. The team moved cautiously through the glowing tunnels, every step echoing against alien walls. The energy symbols pulsed with life, warning them, guiding them, but also testing them. Jaren studied the symbols, trying to find a way to use them against the Council. If we can manipulate these pulses, we might turn their energy into a weapon, he said. Excitement and fear mixed in his voice. Lyra nodded, checking their weapons and equipment. We need speed and precision, she said. No mistakes this time. The humans had learned from betrayal, traps and hunters. They knew the Council expected cleverness, but they had something else too. Human ingenuity. Rylan led them toward a massive chamber deep in the planet. Glowing with alien energy, the Council's power concentrated in one place. As they approached, hunters appeared again, faster and more vicious than before, their glowing eyes scanning for weaknesses. Split up, Rylan shouted. Distract them while we reach the core. The humans moved in perfect coordination, dodging energy spikes, floating orbs, and sudden walls of alien light. Every second felt like hours. The hunters attacked relentlessly, but the humans used the tunnels and symbols to confuse them, their cleverness giving them a small edge. Jaren activated a glowing panel on the wall, sending pulses of energy through the chamber. The hunters faltered, disoriented by the sudden change, giving Rylan and Lyra a chance to move toward the Council's core. Keep going, don't stop, Rylan shouted, pushing through exhaustion, every breath burning in his chest. The humans had learned that raw strength could not save them. Only strategy, patience, and timing could. Inside the core chamber, the Council floated above a glowing pedestal, eyes sharp and furious. You dare challenge the law of the stars? They shouted, their voices echoing like thunder. Rylan stepped forward. We don't challenge the law. We survive it, he said boldly, his heart pounding. Your law is meant to control fear, but we have courage, ingenuity, and each other. The Council's eyes narrowed, sensing the humans' resolve, their energy rippling and warning. Suddenly the chamber shifted, walls glowing, energy crackling. The humans realized they could use the Council's own power against them. Jaren activated the panels he had studied, redirecting pulses of energy toward the Council. The room trembled, alien lights flickering as the energy disrupted their concentration. Lyra guided the team, creating diversions, and striking at weak points. The Council hissed in fury. But the humans pressed on, determined not to fail. One Council member attacked with a massive pulse of energy, aimed directly at Rylan, but he dodged just in time, throwing a counter-grenade that disrupted the chamber's balance. The humans moved as one, every action calculated, every second vital. Daxon, who had betrayed them before, now fought beside them, using his knowledge of the Council's tactics to shield the team. Each human played a part, their teamwork turning the tide in the battle. Energy surged violently, walls cracking, symbols exploding in light. The Council's power waned slightly, giving the humans a moment of hope. Rylan saw the opening. A path to the Council's core pedestal, now or never, he shouted, sprinting forward with Lyra and Jaren following closely. Energy pulses shot toward them, but they used the walls and symbols to dodge each attack. Every heartbeat filled with tension. Finally, they reached the core, a glowing sphere of energy pulsating with the Council's power. Rylan placed his hands on it, feeling the immense force. "We control it together," he said, signaling the team. Each human concentrated, using their understanding of the symbols and pulses, manipulating the energy instead of resisting it. The Council struggled, their fury growing, but the humans' teamwork and ingenuity created a chain reaction, turning the energy back toward the chamber. The chamber shook violently as the energy pulses ricocheted, striking the Council, who screamed in fury and shock. The humans barely held their ground, but they could see the Council faltering, their control weakening. Lyra looked at Rylan. "We can finish this now," she said, determination blazing. "We take control, or we survive." Rylan nodded, focusing every ounce of strength on maintaining the energy flow. Finally, with one massive pulse, the Council was thrown back. Their energy dissipating, the chamber settled, the planet quieting for a moment as if holding its breath. The humans collapsed to the ground, exhausted, battered. But victorious for the moment, they had struck back, proving that humanity could fight, survive, and even challenge the most powerful forces in the galaxy. Rylan looked at his team, bruised but alive. "This is not the end," he said. "The Council will recover. But now they know they cannot break us, they cannot control us. Humanity has power beyond fear, beyond rules. Courage, intelligence, and unity." Lyra smiled, tears in her eyes. "Then we survive. And when the time comes, we finish what we started." The humans rose slowly, standing together, ready for whatever the Council might send next. Their struggle was far from over, but for the first time they felt hope, and the knowledge that humanity's spirit could face even the stars themselves. The humans had struck back and weakened the Council, but the final challenge awaited. The planet pulsed around them, energy surging through the tunnels and chambers, as if the world itself was aware of the coming confrontation. Rylan looked at his team, bruised, battered, but unbroken. "This is it," he said, his voice low but firm. "We face the Council. We face the law of the stars, and we survive. Or we die trying." The path to the Council's central chamber was treacherous, filled with energy traps, floating orbs, and shifting floors. But the humans moved with purpose. Every step calculated, every second counted. The hunters and alien agents now patrolled relentlessly, seeking to stop them. Lyra whispered, "They've learned from our previous attacks." "Commander, they'll expect us." Rylan nodded. "Exactly. That's why we must be unpredictable." As they approached the chamber, the glowing walls pulsed violently, warning them of the Council's awareness. The chamber doors opened with a deafening hum, revealing the Council, larger and more menacing than before, their many eyes glowing like stars. "You dare return?" Their voices thundered, shaking the very air. Rylan stepped forward. "We dare because we will survive," he said boldly. Standing tall despite the fear gnawing at him, the Council unleashed waves of energy, sweeping across the chamber, knocking the humans off their feet. But they had learned, each human moving with precision, dodging, countering, using the alien symbols to shield themselves. Jaren directed energy pulses from panels around the room, creating diversions, while Lyra and Daxon attacked weak points in the Council's defenses. Every move was synchronized, the humans working as one unit, each heartbeat vital, each breath a gamble. Suddenly the chamber shook violently, a massive surge of energy coming from the council's core pedestal. The humans were thrown against walls, sparks flying and dust filling the air. Rylan gritted his teeth. "Hold on. This is our moment." He realized that the council's own energy could be turned against them. "We use their power, not just fight it," he shouted, signaling the team to redirect the energy pulses. The humans worked quickly, focusing all their knowledge, courage and instinct, manipulating the energy. They created a feedback loop that hit the council with their own power. The chamber erupted in blinding light, energy pulses colliding in a storm of glowing symbols, sound and fury. The council screamed, their fury shaking the entire planet. But the humans pressed on, refusing to yield. One council member struck directly at Rylan. A beam of energy aimed to obliterate him, but he rolled, grabbed a panel, and redirected the blast toward another member, causing the chamber to tremble violently. Lyra leaped, striking with precise timing, and Daxon activated a hidden panel, further destabilizing the council's power. The humans moved like a single organism, each action feeding into the next, every moment razor sharp. The chamber's glow reached its peak, energy spiraling around them. The council's control weakened with each pulse, their confidence crumbling as they realized humanity was not just clever. They were unstoppable when united. Rylan approached the central pedestal, hands glowing with alien energy now under human control. "This ends now," he said, determination burning in his eyes. With one final pulse, the humans released the energy, striking the council simultaneously. The chamber shook violently, walls cracking, energy exploding outward in every direction. The council was thrown back, their glowing eyes flickering, their voices a mixture of rage and disbelief. Humanity had turned the tables, surviving the forbidden crime, and now controlling the power the council had wielded for centuries. Silence fell over the chamber, the energy settling into a calm glow. The humans stood together, bruised, exhausted, but victorious. Rylan looked at his team, pride and relief mixing in his chest. "We survived the law of the stars," he said. "We paid the price, we faced death, and we won because we did not give up. We did not betray each other. We were united." Lyra smiled, tears in her eyes. "Then humanity is stronger than any law, stronger than fear." Suddenly, the planet itself pulsed one final time, as if acknowledging their victory. The council, humbled and weakened, retreated. Their power diminished but not gone. They had learned that humanity could not be controlled, could not be broken easily. Rylan knew the battle had been won, but the war of the stars was far from over. The humans left the chamber together, stepping into tunnels that now glowed with soft light, guiding them safely away. Each step forward was a promise. They had survived the forbidden crime, but they had also proven that humanity's courage, intelligence, and unity could stand against any force. "We are not just survivors," Rylan said quietly. "We are the beginning of something greater, something the stars will remember." As they emerged on the planet's surface, looking up at the vast expanse of stars, they knew their journey was far from over, but hope burned brightly, stronger than any fear. Humanity had made a mark, and the forbidden crime had become a lesson, not of punishment, but of power, resilience, and unity. Together they walked forward, ready for whatever the universe could throw at them next.